Previously on Camp TRT, the riders took a giant leap forward as they began to empower themselves and their horses. With self-doubt pushed aside, they started to see their progress through a new lens. Alois faced his horse's narrow space issues with growing confidence, while Esther shifted from being a caretaker to a mentor, learning to guide her horse instead of controlling every step. Sophie and Martina deepened their connection and trust with their horses, while Adriano began to embrace a new dynamic, moving past defensiveness to a more open, trusting approach. But the journey is far from over. In the next phase, they'll continue to trust their instincts, but now the real challenge is learning to lead without controlling and to step fully into the role of the mentor. Welcome to Camp TRT. Over 1,000 riders applied, each facing serious challenges with their horse. 5 were chosen.
I don't have a solution for it.
At this time, I have zero confidence.
5 days to start their personal journey of transformation.
I guess it's going to be a long process.
Even when you make progress, you can have a little setback.
This is not a quick fix program.
But is it really the horse that needs fixing, or will it require a deeper look into themselves? Join our 5 riders and their horses at Camp TRT. Today, the contestants start off with a blindfold session with Marion, who is a certified physiotherapist, osteopath, and an expert in haptonomy. In this session, Marion will focus on putting the contestants more in contact with themselves and letting them become more aware of what's happening around them.
So walk around and try to find the way you feel the most comfortable. Just move and walk around. Find your own path.
Now, in the space, you saw Sophie was walking with the arms down, just, being confident, feeling the ground. You can see that her energy was attached to where she is. Esther got immediately a little bit light in the feet, and she was really carefully searching for the ground. Adriano was straight away with the hands here. He wasn't walking without knowing where it is he was. Martina was also in this sort of careful, in a sense of caring for somebody else that might be there that she didn't want to run into. And it was funny, with Alois, he went straight to finding where the boundary was, straight to where his position of comfort was, so he could take the breath and maybe take a little bit of time out.
That was really enjoying. I find it very funny. We were all blindfolded and we were all walking like this and not knowing where to go.
It was really awkward to have the blindfold on. I became more careful in walking because I didn't want to bump into someone. I didn't want to trip or fall or something like that. It was a strange sensation. Okay, you can find the place where you feel the most comfortable to rest. Then you can stay there a bit. Okay, so maybe something happened or changed in your environment, so keep on walking and discover your environment.
We're facing some objects that were put into the arena in the meantime. Of course, we didn't know that, and of course, there was a pony running around.
Suddenly, I hear a horse or a pony, and I want to see if I can meet the pony. So I changed my way of walking, trying to attract it a bit. I stretched my arm out and tried to approach it, and it really approached my hand. So I spend all my days with horses. I guess that's kind of a comfort zone for me.
I touched the tail of the pony, but I had no idea that they would seriously put a pony in there, so I thought they had maybe used the tail of a dead horse and just someone was holding it, and I walked away.
She was quickly running away from the situation. Make a decision. I'm going away, this is not for me.
What about the idea to stay there in this weird feeling with the tail and to discover more what's going on here and try to stay in this uncomfortable situation because it will change.
If you give yourself time, maybe you can turn that experience completely the opposite, to that being actually probably the most enjoyable experience of that whole exercise. So that was a very good example that has, I think, quite an impact on Sophie.
So next step, Adriano, you can be blindfolded.
Okay.
Alois, you are his guardian angel.
I just remember the body language from Adriano. Blindfold went on. He went into, we're going to achieve the goal. We're going to complete the mission.
You go to your horse, halter your horse, and come back to this place here with your horse together.
Okay, blindfolded?
Yep.
And of course, he walked straight to the stable. And when he got in the stable, he of course didn't know that it was Lucifero in the box. You could see he was feeling. Lucifero was almost looking like getting a totally different feeling from Adriano here.
Quite a surprise. For a second, I thought maybe it was a trick that while I was blindfolded, that it wasn't my horse.
You could see he immediately softened, where before he was having immediately this conflict. And it was such a nice change to see. And then you could see him feeling. And I think he still wasn't sure if it was his own horse or not.
Then I recognized him, feeling him, and also the size. I was sure it was him after a while. That was something special.
Good. Perfect. Stay there. It was a challenging situation. Now you change.
When they said what the exercise was, I said, whoa, my horse is a bit of a stallion, so sometimes he comes at you, or going in there blindfolded wasn't really, but I trusted going to be something that we could do.
I find that really difficult because, yeah, blindfolded, it's quite a horse, Adriano is. Kind of a bit pushy. I was hearing all kind of noises, horses snoring and that kind of stuff, and I felt, oh, the horse is getting a little bit pushy now. I only could sense the threat, could not see it.
For Alois, then you feel the energy come up in this very masculine horse. And then, of course, he's feeling maybe the energy from Adriano, and Adriano thinking, oh, my God, no, I should have saved him. I'm the guardian angel. And then he starts to doubt. And then I think Alois was in the moment of, but we have to continue. We have to get this done. And that drew Adriano also into that state.
Good.
I was a bit disappointed, but that was, again, I had this goal in mind. And of course, it wasn't perfect. So at the end, I thought, well, I could have done better, perhaps. Later, I thought, okay, maybe I've done okay.
Good job.
Well, didn't know where I was at the moment. So.
It's a short exercise. Go in, catch your horse, bring it out. But what happens along the way is like a blockbuster adventure. You could write a book on that small experience.
I had a mission to go blind out from the stables, finding the door, opening the door, finding the field, and catch the pony in the field and bring it back in. And all this without seeing or without talking to each other and trying to do this as a team.
Martina and Sophie. I mean, from the beginning, they were like two 6-year-old girls about to hold hands and go across the crossing to school. And they wanted to make sure, like, yeah, I've got you, I've got you. You've got the halter, you've got the lead.
We started off as a good team, I think, in the stable. But once we got outside, it went downhill. We tried to find a gate, which was totally dislocated where we were.
Once they got into the paddock, there was this kind of magical draw to the pony. He was standing at the total other end. They went into the open paddock and made a beeline to the pony. And really quickly, they made contact. And then the funny bit came. They were going all around like this was some strange beast from another planet, and they needed to work out what shape it was. Did it have a head? Did it have 2 heads? And now where do we put this, you know, leading contraption on and how?
She was putting on the halter and taking it off and putting it on again. I was like, what the hell is she doing? I tried to help her if she put it on the wrong way or...
I thought it was a trap, that it was 2 and that we had to catch the white one. So I was not sure if there was a second one. So that's why I was struggling again and again with that halter on or off. It was very confusing. You're left alone with your own feeling and thoughts, and sometimes the thoughts are taking over and it makes it way too difficult.
Finding the gate was difficult because I had the rope and I thought, okay, maybe we're gonna do it together. But then Martina kept moving. I thought, okay, what is she doing? So I'll just have her lead me, but she was waiting for me to lead her. We were just standing there and touching the pony and not moving, and yeah, it took a while.
So, short moment for you. Think back. What if there is no pony and you have to find the gate out of the paddock?
It was a very interesting process to see how their other communication senses were sort of colliding and trying to find their way into a working, usable sense. These girls are with horses every day. You would think that the feeling is with them, but then you take the sight away and you see they behave completely differently.
I think something to keep in mind is that it's okay to take time, and that taking a step back and just breathe in, breathe out for a minute and then go again isn't always a waste of time, and it can actually help you.
Good job. Holy shit.
It's a lot to be aware of yourself, your intuition, to follow that. You see that you're quite often dependent on communicating with words. It's good that we can do that, but sometimes we can practice our other senses. That can be very useful when we work with horses.
Try to find each other without talking.
I think for the days after, the participants will really feel all kinds of things coming up from this unconsciously, or they'll go to drive, or they'll go to get their own horse and reliving the feelings and the experiences. And I think it was a special experience for all of them.
After the riders connected with their other senses and feelings together with Marion, it is now up to them to take this into their one-on-one sessions. We start off with Martina. Last time she made good improvements, but sometimes still gets insecure and gives in. Tristan guides her back and the session continues smoothly. He is full of confidence and feels she's getting ready for the saddle, although Martina doesn't realize it yet.
Good. Yeah, and then a little bit in trot. And then, yes, good. Yes. Good. Yes. So you can see now she's not looking to fly away anymore. She's only looking for the stop.
Yeah.
Same on the other side. Good. The mare had just gone that next step better. She was totally grounded from the beginning. And then there was a moment where I don't think she believed I was going to say, okay, it's time to get on. Yeah. And she's focusing on herself and she's in a good frame of mind, so it's okay. Good. This is also nice to see. You break down the process. She can see your right eye. Very good. So first just coming to this space. And then we'll start with the movement of the front leg. So then you can pick up also your whole terrain. And then you just open a little bit to the right. And you feel that she goes behind and across. So no legs on. And you're opening up the right rein and a little bit backwards from the left. Yes, backwards from the left. Yes, and release. Good. She was able to then get in the saddle, and the idea for her was just to bring the sensation and the feelings from the groundwork into the riding, just that she could take the feeling from the groundwork, remembering that the horse was completely flying away all of the time, and finding that position and feeling of being grounded. The mare was maintaining this direction in her body quietly through the patterns. Yes, and release. Good. And now you have the feeling your right leg comes on, and you imagine that you're standing in the middle, and you get this shape around you. This is also the shape we will use when you start to go and I'm chasing you with the streamers. This is the redirection. Good. Turn yourself. Use the kiss noise. Good. Until you feel you get the connection diagonal pairs. There's good. Yes. And then lifting up inside rein a little. This is good.
The feeling was good. Like the horse had a good feeling and me too.
Nose towards me. So I can see two eyes. Her two eyes.
It went all very good. She was very relaxed and felt very safe now. The first step seems to go very, very slow with some things that I'm not so familiar to do. So then I'm like, oh, I have to get better in this. But at the same time, I'm also motivated to learn it.
This feeling.
Okay. It is that they have to be very, very good. You have a solid foundation to build further on, and then you can go faster forward than what it seems like in the beginning.
And so I do the draw in the beginning. So then the only thing you're not allowed to do is put the leg on. The only thing you can do is open if you need to open the leg. So that she opens now right front. And give. Yes. Right front. Open. Yes. Open right front. Right front. Yes. No legs on. Good.
Sometimes I solve problems not really good enough to make it work, and it's okay, but the horse didn't really learn what it needed to. So if I got this opportunity to come here with her, it's because, yeah, I'm very thankful for that, but also to get it really good and not just it works.
Yes.
She's really drafting after the flag.
Huh?
She's really, yeah.
Drawing, yeah.
Yeah, drawing.
Good. And drop the rein again. So that bit where we wave the flag over the back. Okay, now it's not there, but in the beginning there was a bit of oh, oh. Mm-hmm. And then when we create this awareness here, she tunes in to the backhand. Mm-hmm. Relaxes. Now the backhand's very loose.
Yeah.
And then when we start to give an impression from something in the environment, that part of the body is, she's managing it.
Yeah.
She's not letting it get into a stiff state. She took on the tools right away, and I would say she was probably even, in most cases, a little bit more relaxed even. So the session didn't change from groundwork, oh, we're stepping up to riding and bring her back down. She actually just got more into a relaxed state. It was a perfect flow.
Next, it is up to Esther. Last session, we saw her horse stood on the rope again, but this time she knew how to handle it with confidence. With a very smooth high-five session, Tristan gave her a new assignment, and also this she and her horse managed really well. Esther got confident and hoped to get into the saddle again.
So how's he feeling, Esther?
Pretty relaxed.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's good. He looks also content. Yeah. Focus on the behind and across. Yes, good with your right hand. Very good. This step. Yes, and start to feel the feet, which direction also the next step's coming. Yes, good, and relax. Better. Very good. That's where the finish should end up. This is the completion of the step. Pushing backwards with your left hand first. Yes, good. Focusing on the two eyes. Little tap with the whip. She was feeling the confidence of the exercises. She knew what was going on. But I also had the feeling that she thought, oh, that was it. Now we can put the saddle on and get on, and I'm going to ride today. So I went with putting the rope around the belly like a girth. I take a little bit of pressure, and he goes to move. So you think he's ready for a saddle?
No.
So that for me was, okay, she could let go of the fear of getting on, because maybe unconsciously she thought, well, I don't really feel like I've had all the steps to sit in the saddle today. And it's important to do this, Esther, without the saddle, because now the association is directly concentrated to the feeling around the belly. It's not associated to the saddle. And you break it down that he can understand this bit first. Yes. Find the rest. Tune in. Hey. And release. Good boy. This is the same exercise as you did with your hand. You have a connection in the front, and instead of your hand being on the belly, we have a rope here. And he goes in a pattern that brings him into a control state. So he's already knowing how to move his body to stay connected and relaxed. If we don't teach him that first and we do it up...
Yeah, a rodeo star.
Yes. I went then with the sack, because I said, if you're going to put the saddle blanket on Esther, should you be able to touch him like this? Well, yes. And of course we couldn't. Somebody that's putting a saddle on that horse should not even be around horses. If you feel the fear state in which he is experiencing, and we're talking about welfare in the horse world at the moment, a lot, this is a pretty obvious case that this is not good for the horse. And so I was happy. I was really happy that I could see that she realized where he's at. You're going to finish with your exercise from yesterday. The end goal is not possible with all the right steps before that. So the last part was Esther being able to show off to the rest what she'd taught him the day before. She went to the steps that she took the day before on teaching him. She's now preparing her horse for something she knows he already knows. She checked in. She wanted to have that conversation with him to say, come, we're here together and this is what we're going to do. And do you feel okay about that? That is her. All the other things she's done is the pollution from everybody else. So that moment to see her be herself with her horse was priceless. Ready? Perfect, Esther.
I needed to park my horse, and that went really well. He learned yesterday, and now he's like a pro. I was not doing it completely right, but the horse was like, "Oh, I'll do it for you," and I was like, "Oh wow, that's good."
And if he can finish like this every day, he will just grow and grow and grow.
I hope maybe we can put the saddle on and make a start with mounting, but I feel like it's a little bit too early. We need a little bit more time to practice and get him absolutely relaxed and okay with everything is going on. Goed gedaan, jongen.
Next in line is Sophie. Last episode, we saw old patterns emerge, but she and her horse catched on and changed their behaviours. Her session went very smoothly, and Sophie and Jimmy are getting ready for riding.
Yeah, and focus on the... Yes, that was good. And now relax again, but keep the contact, let him keep going.
Okay.
So you keep him in connection, that he keeps moving. Focus on the two eyes. Yes, there. There. There, the disc gets really smooth. Yeah, and relax and let him stop. Yeah, perfect. The more he finds that connection, and the more we can initiate the movement smoother. Mm-hmm. You can see now, just because you pushed a little bit of air towards the body, he already got his body ready to start the movement really easy. You could see the energy change in Sophie really clearly in the session today. She really was feeling more what was happening. Jimmy also never got into this contraction pattern in the neck. I thought that there was going to be a difficult transition, because when I said, okay, let's put the saddle and bridle on, I saw that Sophie's energy then went into the doing part again. Okay, I get my saddle and I do everything, and I thought, this will be interesting now to see if she switched back. And also here.
Check in with him.
Release. And so this is also then a process. We can shape that as well. Before, during, and after he checks in, and he's not allowing himself to. Sometimes it can just be a habit. There may have been some muscle soreness, discomfort at one point, and then this becomes the habit. It becomes a reflex then. But if sometimes they have tension, they feel the girth, and you've taught that sensation to be a relaxing one, then that can also help them to turn it around in the right direction. When she got on, I redirected and said, come back to the middle, and now find that position of rest first. So if he sets himself in a straight position, that's the first reward. And then lifting again. Wait. Yeah, so now release a little. Super. And then you could see she came back again to herself. She came into that zone. Jimmy then got really relaxed on the first tension release from the rein. This feeling.
Can I use my leg as well?
No. Only the rein. This one keeps him a little bit back. This one allows him to go to the side. Yes, a little back. And relax. And when you go back, feel that your hand lifts up, not taking back, but you're lifting the feet. Every step he takes, you go looser and looser. Yeah, and feel this left side opening up. So you have the feeling your leg comes off. This is good. Loose. And looser rein. Yeah, softer rein. Good. And longer rein.
I got in the saddle again, so that's great. Also prepare the riding part, but I think that was really useful as well. And I have clear instructions on how to do that as well when I take Jimmy home again.
And you have to go through the umbrellas without any leg. It's the difficult bit. Yes. Good. And now feel how little. Yes, and give. Good. Yes. Yes, and now loose. Rub him up the neck. Rub him, rub him, rub him. Good. It's good. So from the beginning, if you go somewhere, you're going to go to the warming up, and you're going to make tension release. You can start by just moving your front legs in the bridle. When he's sleeping, you can get on, and then you move front legs from on top. And that's the process. And you get to check in with him in the whole process of the warming up. Good.
It was great to be back in the saddle again. Yeah. He got some tension with the tools, with the flag and the sounds, but it felt quite good actually, yeah.
And I have some old habits that are there. It's not that everything magically goes away, but the conversation is changed. And from there, she's going to be able to learn what that process should feel like now when she gets in the saddle.
We continue with Adriano. Last episode, we saw him having a big change in attitude. He and his horse didn't get into a fight anymore, and Adriano showed his mentor side. He began guiding instead of correcting and started enjoying rewarding his horse. They got ready to take the next step.
Yes. And some horses I prefer not to touch, but I know that this is something in him, that gets him defensive.
Touching.
Yes. It's not that we really want something, this particular thing out of him, but I want him to have an association that's different than the one he has. So he learns that this extroverted, hey, this is a proud thing. It's look at me, which is his character. But we have to get the mindset in a more positive outlook than I'm macho and I can wrestle you. But he's more thinking, when I say, what is your front really for? Your front end is for, yes, hey, for expressing yourself and showing yourself. And if I touch you, it's a positive thing. I wanted him to observe the difference between the conflict and the real mentorship, the encouragement, the reward, the good feelings, the good vibes, the doing something together where you're positively giving a sense of achievement. We're getting somewhere, we're learning something. And I knew that Lucifero needed to be in a session where it was only about that. It's very important that he doesn't associate contact with defense. So when we can start to have a conversation with the front, we can start to work him with the groundwork in a way where we can ask him to raise the front. Come on, yes, come on, yes, hey, so, yes, hey, whoa. I gave one little pellet and boom, he went to the top and I was like, whoa. And Adriano was like, oh. And I said, I think he has a little bit more in there than what he lets on.
He was really trying to do more because he was enjoying it. Top level.
Top level. So now we adjust the level of try, and all of a sudden the talent is like growing. Lucifero was in that moment. You could see that he was thinking, yes, this is the real me. Here I can express myself in a positive way. Good boy. Oh, good boy. I wanted him to take directly what he'd seen and feel it in the saddle. So then we start with the front leg. So then your leg's off. And then...
Front legs back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Behind and across.
Does he need, before I start, does he need to stand still?
You can just give the cue. And if he goes into the standing still, then relax and loose. Yeah, and have the feeling that that gets soft. Yeah, and loose. I said, give him the feeling with the rein. That was the beginning of transferring the groundwork to the riding. And I could feel at that moment that Adriano needed a moment to process. So I just told him to walk, and I could see that he was already feeling, okay, that changed a lot quicker than normal. So you're controlling each of the feet independently. And now a little bit left rein and left hind. And now release. Good. Left hind. And now release. Good. He wants to go back to his wall.
I rode him a bit, tried to get him motivated in different ways, mixing things up, trying to get him to a target, mixing it up with lifting the legs and opening the shoulders.
It's just the beginning, but when you can have that on your fingertips, you can say, hey, lift. And now he's just learning it, so he's a bit over-enthusiastic. But in the end, like the wall, we get it on the cue. Head down, head up, it's ready to go. Yes, good, let him walk. He will do what he did with me with the stick in the beginning. When you put the leg on, he makes the front legs back. So if he's even less wanting to go there. And then the normal canter, when you get going, when you go towards the first fence, you have to press him. And when you press him, he gets more back. And then you have to press more. And then you get in this conflict, the war again.
Sounds like every day.
Sounds like you're every day, yeah.
I had a good feeling. The new feeling is having the energy coming out from the front instead of pushing it from the back. I felt it a bit in the horse, just a start, and I hope it's going to be stronger tomorrow.
There was no restriction in the body anymore. He really changed the body, which allowed him to make the possibility for him to go past something that would make him insecure normally. It's the lack of knowledge that creates the insecurity that forms the body.
Last up is Alois. Last time we saw how Tristan left him alone to lead his horse through narrow spaces unassisted. Although he was doing good, the doubts started to kick in. Tristan helped him feeling more secure and he succeeded to get his horse calmly into the paddock. But Alois still looks mostly at the negative side.
Good. Yes. And relax again. Let her go. Yeah, and you have to not stay in front of her because she has to go here so that she can go there. So you're asking the shoulder from where you are to step out here. So then you can ask from here for her to go forward. The first part for Alois was really feeling what mobility was about. Yeah, and then into trot. Left hand to the left. And in one motion, energy up to the left, walk left, and then one noise, yes, and one tap. Where your leg goes. Yes, good. I think that gave him a little bit of confidence that he realized those basic exercises are going to bring me somewhere where I can practice something that is going to really help the horse. Let's go to the trailer.
Alrighty. Just walk through, or?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we've done that before.
That's the refinement of what you did in detail. We went fairly quickly to the trailer, and I didn't want to hand him the horse right away and bring him from a high to boom, now you have the pressure of facing this ongoing nightmare that's lived in you for some time. First, I just want you to see what I'm doing from outside.
All right. I'll stay outside the trail now.
And this is the approach
Yep.
already.
Yeah.
This is the good bit.
It became clear how we're going to load him to the trailer. I knew he was going to do it first, so I didn't expect him to say, let me see how you do it, because then I would have said, I
want him to start from the beginning because he's very quickly thinking about the end. I've got to get her in. And we want to be able to focus on what are the elements and the steps in where the horse has to be confident to feel that that is possible. We don't want to just get them in. And then when I get the front feet a little bit further, I want to be able to stop here and test the back from here. And I know already there I don't have it. So I have to go back to this spot. Now my approach is not straight. See that? Already from the backwards. Now I have the avoidance here. And I'm not looking for the step forward now. I'm looking for the here. Lean forward.
Yeah.
Because when she went backward, she took the first step on in reverse. The arrows were still pointing backwards, even though she walked up. So I have to keep her here till I get the leaning forward. And then I want to test. Leaning forward, lightening the back end. Now I test one step. Yes. So I want to be able to transition today the backwards leaning into a forwards leaning.
That became quite a story, I guess. Became a little replay of what we experienced last Tuesday with going in and out of the stable with the storm. She gave some feedback to him that was not the right feedback. Let me put it that way. And then Tristan began his long conversation.
From the outside, you can see a guy with a horse standing next to a trailer with a whip, and he's there with the whip, and that horse was jumping around all over the place. My whip, of course, is giving me an extension of my arm to bring focus to different parts of the horse's body. You have to go to the point where those options, that limiting belief narrative, runs its course, and she starts to say, maybe there is another option. It's at that moment where we have to say, yes, that could be the possibility to change this narrative. And so it's to really help the horse deeply with the specific narrative that is causing the disability. This is the answer. When your body says no, of course you don't want to do it. But this is what it feels like when your body says yes, it's okay, and it will feel okay. And I won't allow you to be in there until your body tells you all the things to make it okay. I don't put you in there if you can't handle it. If you don't have all the skills to get there in a relaxed way, then I should never have you in there. This is the important part about the teaching of something.
Exciting to see. Tristan remained super cool and relaxed and just explaining what we was doing and why and all from the horse point of view. The end result was that he managed to get her on pretty easy.
And then there was that moment where she had that release. And I looked at Alois, and I could see he was full of emotions. And I didn't have to say, did you see it? Did you recognize this is the turning point? She's doing good.
Oh, she.
Yeah, you can still see it.
Real thin line,
You can still see it. We start to go out, and I could feel that then there was still a moment that wasn't fully out. She's made great progress, and we wanted to feel that.
Ultimately, I have to do it on my own as well at home, so yeah, that's the way to do it. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
No worries. Good job.
I don't think
job.
we could have reached a solution without you. Thanks.
Next time on Camp TRT. With all of the sessions and trainings behind, the riders are getting ready to show what they have learned as they receive their challenges from Tristan. He'll be there to guide them, but this is the moment where they have to do it on their own. Luckily, the team have provided some very special tools to make that happen.
Collect your gear.
Will they be able to complete their challenges? Or do they still have a long way to go? Find out in the next episode of Camp TRT.